Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. We are live. It is Sunday. We are cold in the Mississippi. It's like 29 degrees. I know a lot of you, that's probably not much, but it's freezing cold down here, y'all. But we're here together, right? We're getting it done. We're taking a look at the Bitcoin price action. The thumbnail says it all, guys. We are looking for a pump before the Babylon crash. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's see who's here. Excuse me. Max, morning crew, ready for a Sunday pump? Yeah, Sunday pump. Thanos, what's up? John in the house. My main man, West Coast. What's up, y'all? Got the crew here, taking a look at things. Give it a couple more minutes, see if folks kind of come in here. I do have the poll going in chat. As always, super curious to see what you think. We're going to go over, we're going to look at a little more macro today, y'all. I know I've been harping on this thing, but it's just such a big trade that it just, and it's so close in my opinion that we need to make sure we're covering all our bases. I want everyone to be in on this trade, and in order for some folks to take this trade, they have to be uber confident, and I get that. So we're gonna see if we can help you out. We do have a criteria to the Babylon trade that I have not yet revealed that has occurred in all previous cycles. Also another trend. Let me go ahead and start now by saying the clause that we always have to put out there, just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen now or in the future. So I understand that. I do understand that. This time could be different, okay? But until the trend breaks, you know the old saying, the trend is your friend. So we're going to keep the trend. And the trend doesn't always mean the direction the market is headed. It could be a trend in certain moving average crossovers. It can be a trend in certain fib levels hit. It could be, there's lots of trends. As long as there's a pattern to it and it recurs often, then it could be a trend. And we have a good trend with a lot of confluence. That's one thing about this trade that I love so much, that to me makes it such high probability, is there's not like one thing that we found. It's like, oh, well, this one thing happened every time. We've literally got like 5 things that have happened every single time to give you the signal. So it's like, if one of those things happens here, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for all 5 to hit. And when all 5 hit, that's a heck of a confluence right there, guys. So I feel very confident in this trade that's coming up. But answer the poll, if you will. I'm curious to see when you think. I don't even remember what the poll is. When will Bitcoin top out before the crash? I think everyone on the planet, well, almost everyone except maybe Michael Saylor and Carl from the moon, probably thinks, and the Crypto guy, everyone else on the planet is under the understanding that Bitcoin price is fixing to go down pretty heavily. So when do you think that's going to happen? When do you think we top before the crash down? I'm interested to see what you think, so let me know. And I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to back it up with historical data. I've been doing this all morning. I haven't really been trading this morning, guys. I think I've taken 1 or 2 trades. I'm actually in a trade currently. I'm going to talk about that in a second too. Let's look at yesterday. Yesterday was awful. I put $1,000 in an account. Actually, I traded 2 accounts, but I put $1,000 in one account, and my goal, let me see where I'm at. My goal was to try to turn into $2,000 yesterday. I failed miserably. I didn't do bad. It was just like the most boring day ever. We got, oops. Come on. There you go. $673 profit on the day yesterday. So not, I mean, it was a good day. It's great. It's pretty dang good for a boring Saturday. I even posted in Discord last night, and I meant it. I absolutely meant it. I was like there, fired up, ready to trade, and this was 40 minutes. And I posted, I said, this is 40 minutes of my life that I can never get back. It was like watching freaking paint dry. I mean, I just sat there and watched it. I got excited. We got a blood diamond here. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Blood diamond, big short, nothing. Then sideways for about 10, 12 more minutes. Another blood diamond. I got all excited again. I had a finger on the short button, and then nothing. This was awful. Like, yesterday was terrible. We did make $600 though, so not a terrible day. It was easy trading day. I mean, if you can't get Saturdays most Saturdays do absolutely nothing. I really don't care what your indicators say. I really don't care what dots you get. That doesn't matter. All that goes out the window on Saturday, and all it does, almost always ever does, is bounce the freaking range. That's it. That's it. Ping and pong. You get an open. It's super easy to map out to. You get an open or close, open, whatever. You close the day on Friday. You open the weekend, and you automatically you run up and set a high or low, one of the two, depending on which way the price is going at the current time. You go set a high or low. And you don't trade that. That's Friday night for most of us, depending on your time. That's Friday night. You don't trade that. And then by the time you get up Saturday, right here, Saturday in the middle of the night somewhere, you set a low, boom, and you just see it bounced away from that. So you knew instantly that was your high low. You just go and you extend your lines. That's it. And no, you're not going to get the exact top, and you're not going to get the exact bottom of them because it's going to go a little higher sometimes, a little lower sometimes. That's cool. But you go mark them out, and that's it. And you just trade it. You just trade it. You just trade it. You get on back up to the top, boom, enter your short. You come back to the bottom, boom, take profit into your long. You get on back, you just kind of dance this. And by the time you get in here, though, you can also throw on your volume profile right there from just the start of the weekend. Just throw that on. And let's say we'd come to, you take in your short, and you come down, and you took your profit here, and you just throw it on. Boom. And that's it. And then you got your volume profile. And I know it gets a little kind of whatever. But you got your official volume profile with your high and your low marked out. And so then when it comes back into the range, it comes back in above your orange line. I know it's messy. You enter the trade. Let's see if I can clear this up a little. All right. So I had my orange line. I don't know where my orange line. It doesn't matter. You get the point. But then you got a good take profit area because you got an official point of control. So you enter, come back up, take profit. You came back down, came in, enter, take profit, came back up, came back in, take profit at the point of control. It's just easy trading. It rarely leaves the range significantly. I mean, I know it came down a little down here, but it just comes back. It just is what it is. And we're not CME gap traders, but you always be aware. Like I mark out at the start of the weekend, I mark out where CME closed on spot. Doesn't matter where it closed on CME because spot and CME are different. So go see at the time CME closed. It's Friday on my time at 1600. Okay, I see where does that candle open? Where does the 1545 close and the 1600 open? And I mark it, and that's my CME. And if price doesn't open on CME time right there, then you're gonna have a gap, whether the upside or the downside. And I know that usually, not always, but usually price just doesn't get too far away from there. And if it does, it usually comes back. So I just kind of know that we're going to hover somewhere around this area, a little above it or a little below it. And we come below it, I trade back to it. We come above it, I trade back to it. So just easy Saturdays. I encourage folks not to overcomplicate Saturdays. Indicators matter far less. But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. We are here for today a little more macro outlook. Anybody have any good trading day yesterday? Carrie Benz says, good afternoon. She's in Chile. So boring. You didn't do anything yesterday, John. Didn't. Save the Republic. What's up, brother? What's up? So I'm in a long, guys. I'm in a long position. I'm at kind of like a break even right now, I think. All right. Let me preface this, guys. I'm not saying anybody should take a long right now. I'm going to tell you why I'm in a long. And I'm willing to take some drawdown on this. I'm not scalping this. It's a day trade long, and I only have a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Possibly more, but my target is a 2-to-1 risk to reward. And that is not as good as I would normally like, but I'm confident in this trade, so I'm willing to take it, okay? So I kind of just entered it right here. I'm $13 down, and that's okay. It's a lower margin trade. I've only got $1,000 on this trade, okay? So very low margin trade. And I'm targeting our target, okay? Our target up here, our big target, where the bullseye is. I'm targeting that, and let me make this a little bigger. I'm willing to go down to this golden pocket here, okay? So, again, I acknowledge. Don't give me a hard time. I acknowledge it is not the best risk reward. It is not the best entry. I had a very good entry. I entered in the dang box. I showed you guys. I think I made $700 on this trade. I closed the trade. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. close the trade. So now I don't have my good entry. So I just kind of fired off a trade here, okay, guys? And I'm going to show you why. But I fully acknowledge this is not the greatest trade. Do not hold this against me. I'm willing to come down to the golden pocket, and I want to take it up to my target. And that gives me a slightly right at a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, okay? I know. But this is the target that I'm looking for. But if we come higher up into what would be our next target, right around 103K, it's going to actually increase me to about a 4-to-1 risk to reward if we do come up there. I don't think we're going there. I'm looking for 2-to-1, and I'm okay with that. I mean, we're up over 20 grand on the year, and I'm okay with taking a $1,000 position for a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Okay? But I'm not saying anybody else should do this. All right, let's take a look at some of the macro stuff. Anybody have any questions first? Anybody in a trade? Anybody in a trade? This is not a scalp trade, by the way. In fact, I don't even plan to take profit, at least until we take this high about 98K, and then I might take some profit, but I'm really planning to just ride this all the way into Babylon, wherever that may be. But I do have some exciting Babylon stuff to go over with you today. All right, no questions, then we will go right into it. Got a little Babylon logo thing up here, guys. I thought that was kind of nifty. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm also going to post something in Discord with my official criteria of what I'm looking for. John's not in a trade. All right, so let's take a look at this Babylon trade. Okay, so we know everything we're looking for, right? This is current price action. This is not historical. We're going to go back in time and add something else into it, okay? So we're looking for our 3 drops, 1, 2, 3, which we've already gotten, okay? Then we're looking for 2, maybe 3 pumps to the upside, but it's looking more like this is only going to be 2 pumps to the upside, okay? Say the Republic says we do have a bear div on the daily after that last high. Yeah, I'm not really concerned with that so much. I'll show you why in a second. We do. You're correct. You're correct, which is why we could go down, which is why I'm in a short position, guys. You guys know I'm in a short position from this red box. I still have this short open, okay? I still have this short open on KCEX. I'm still in this short. I closed my long from here. I wish I hadn't have. But I'm still in this short because of that bear div, so that's a good point. Thanks for pointing that out. But I am in the short from the dang red box given in advance, guys, on KCEX, and I've shown that trade. I have my MEXC pulled up right now, but I can pull up my KCEX too. But I want to cover this first. So here's what we're looking for. All right, so what we're looking for, we got 1, 2, 3 drops, right? 2 pumps to the upside. We historically have 3 out of 4 times seen 2 pumps before the big crash. Once we saw 3 pumps, okay? And the reason we saw 3 pumps was because we didn't get the cross from the 5 to over the 55 after 2 pumps, okay? And that could very likely happen again. But I just don't think so, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So historically, we've always had a rejection from the 382. We always wicked above it. We just didn't touch it and then go down. We've always kind of wicked above it somewhere in between the 382 and the 0.5, never higher than the 0.5, ever, never even to the 0.5. And then come down, and then we're looking for the 5 and the 55 to cross above, and then we're looking for them to cross back below, right? And that is our go signal. That's our key, right? I'm going to show you something else, though, okay? So far we have 3 drops, so that's check 1. We have 2 pumps, that's check 2. We have not touched the 382, though, and I looked on all exchanges, and we front ran it. We just slightly front ran it. This is the bit stamp charts, and let's look. Bybit chart, you can see we also front ran that 382. Coinbase chart, we slightly, but we did front run the 382. Binance, slightly, but we did front run the 382, so we have not touched the 382 on any chart. So to me, now it doesn't mean we can't just roll over and go to the rest of the bear market from here. We certainly can. But I don't think we missed this 382 by a few dollars not to come out and come back and take it out, okay? So I'm looking for us to come back and take that out. Plus, historically, it has every single time taken out the 382. So again, I preface this whole thing by saying it doesn't mean it has to happen this time. I just believe that it will. And there are indicators that enforce that for me. Okay, so far we have hit several of our check marks, right? But we're still missing a few of them, okay? What we're missing we're missing the 5 crossing back above the 55, okay? We're missing that. Hasn't happened yet. We're missing taking out the 382. Haven't done that yet. And, of course, we're missing the 5 crossing back below the 55 because it hasn't even crossed above yet. So those are the 3 things we're missing. But we have another confluence, a couple more confluences, actually, I'm going to show you. First off, we're on the 2-day time frame. Every single previous Babylon trade, that's what we're calling this trade, by the way, folks. Babylon is a biblical reference to the Babylonian Empire. It was full of pride and arrogance and greed, thought they were untouchable, and a great collapse came. And kind of like Bitcoin. Bitcoin thinks it can't be touched, and there is a great collapse coming for Bitcoin, a Babylon collapse. Anyway, we like to sound all, ooh. So, on the 2-day time frame, we will come back to this. Let's go historically. Let's go to 2022 and see what else we're looking for that we have not shown yet, guys, okay? Here you are, 2022. All the metrics line up, everything. But what I haven't shown you is we had 2-day hidden bearish divergence into this 382, just above it, but into the 382 at the time we got the cross. 2-day hidden bearish divergence. Confirmed, okay? Confirmed. See it right there. I got the all-time high. We got lower highs and the momentum, higher highs on momentum. Okay, 2-day bearish divergence. Okay, all of this we're working on the 2-day time frame. Everything about this trade anyway. All right, let's go back to 2018. You see it right there. 2-day bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence, right there. 2-day hidden bearish divergence, 2018. You see where I'm going. 2014. There it is. 2-day hidden bearish divergence. And by the way, this is from bounce 1. Okay, all this from bounce 1. All these are from bounce 1. Okay, it can come from the all-time high. It doesn't really matter. Point is, we're having another drive of 2-day bearish divergence. There it is. Higher highs on momentum waves, lower highs on price action. Confirmed bearish divergence. 5 crossing back below the 55. Babylon trade entry. Game over. Let's go to current price. Okay. We're missing a couple of metrics. We're missing a couple of check marks, all right? But as of now, 2-day unconfirmed bearish divergence. Unconfirmed. However, to mitigate this, to make it not 2-day bearish divergence, we have to set a new all-time high. Anything short of a new all-time high, and you will have 2-day bearish divergence. Hidden bearish divergence. Hidden bearish divergence is a continuation of the trend, okay? Regular bearish divergence is a reversal of the trend. This is hidden, which means it is... You have it on this first tip too. It's hard for folks to see this on Cypher because the waves are below the 0 line. But your wave, if you were to take all this out, your wave would be right here. Would be right here. So you would have just like that and just like that. So it's on the second, it's on the first bounce also. It's on here. You have 2-day hidden bearish divergence. So we've got that. Add that to, I've added it to the chart here. Check. Okay. Now all we're missing is the 5 cross above and cross back below. In order to do that, price has to come back above this 382 also. So by doing this final check mark, by doing the key, we will get this one also. We're close, guys. We're close. I'm going to show you how close in just a second. I have a pretty good idea on this. We're going to take a look at the poll first, though. That's pretty cool, though, in my mind. Simu, there she is, Bangladesh. How are you? Glad to have you in here. I want everybody to be ready and prepared for this trade, y'all. Max said, I just took your long trade. Oh, Max. Max, I've said this before. Max is the only person I know that takes every single one of my trades. Blindly. Blindly. Max and I go back a long, long, long time. John and I go back even longer. Guys, we're getting close to this trade. I'm going to tell you where I think it's going. I already have, but I want to state I'm not a perma bear. I think we're going to 99 and change, probably not 100K. But guys, let me just say, I really don't care. Like I don't care if we go to 107K, 110K. I don't care. I would love that. In fact, I would love that because I do hold some alts, and alts will just reap the rewards of that, right? They're just going to benefit. So I would love it. So when I keep telling you I'm targeting 99, 99 and a half, something like that, it's not because I'm a perma bear and I just don't want the price to go up. Like I really don't care. I would love for it to go up. I'm just trying to look historically and what current price action is telling me. I just don't think so. I just don't see that happening. But it can, and I'm totally cool with that. I would love that. I just don't think that's what's fixing to happen. So I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade that wants 110K. I'm great. I want it too. I really want it. I just don't think so, guys. I just don't think so. Everybody's targeting 103, 107, 110. Everybody. I mean, maybe you've seen someone who isn't, but almost everybody, and I just don't think they get it. I don't think they're going to give it to them. And I hope I'm wrong. All right. Why do I think that's not going to happen? Let's take a look at something. Let's take a look at something. Let me clear this real quick. No, let's go back to our Babylon chart. I'm going to switch over to the 2-week time frame, okay, guys? 2-week time frame. All right, we're on the 2-week time frame. So today, the 2-week closes today, okay? Assuming Bitcoin doesn't just absolutely shite the bed right now, we should get a 2-week unconfirmed green dot. We should have a green dot flash today, okay? Unconfirmed. But you can see right here at zero line, VWAP's about to cross over zero line. We should get that today, okay? Let's go back in time and see what happens when you're about this point of the cycle, Babylon point. What happens on the 2-week time frame, okay? All right, 2-week time frame. So here we are. We've had our 3 drops, right? We've had our 3 drops. I'm going to mark this out. We've had our 3 drops back in 2022, right? Okay. Had our 3 drops, and we're working our way up towards the 382. We haven't yet hit it at this point in time in 2022. So we're right in here, right? We're on this candle right here. See what I'm talking about? We're currently in today's price action on this candle right here, okay? That candle has not yet hit the 382. It's come up near it, has not yet hit the 382. And it is 1 candle away from the green dot, which we should get today, okay? You got the green dot. Boom. I'm going to delete our little marker. You see the green dot. It propelled you up to the 382, slightly above it, right? The next candle was the top, and game over. All right? Okay? So this candle marks 2 weeks. This candle marks another 2 weeks. So 4 weeks, you were done. And you were actually done in 2 weeks. You just didn't have the signal in 2 weeks, but you were actually done. We can drop down to the daily and look at this. So look, green dot puts you up above your target and finishes you on the next candle over. Okay? Over. I'll show you something else in a second. Let's go back to 2018. 2018 is the exception, sort of. All right, so 2018, we had our 3 drops, right? 382, you hit your 382 right here. Now, you did not get a green dot right here on the 382, okay? You're right here. This one right here. This candle right here, this is where we are. Okay, you did not get that, but you did get it coming right up to it, right there, and then just kind of went sideways, and then it was game over, okay? And that is this candle right here, and that is where you got the pump up on. I could switch back to the 2-day and show you, but you just have to trust me or go look. On this candle, right when you almost got the 2-week green dot is when it pushed price up just enough to pull that 5 above the 55, okay? That, which is what the signal was. And then the next candle, so 2-week period, 4 weeks, so 2 weeks, 4 weeks. The next one is what turned you back over and dropped you below, okay? So you were in the trade somewhere, and we can look at the daily, somewhere upon this second 2-week candle, okay? Let's go back and look at 2014. That's not a perfect example, but it actually is when you drop it down to a lower time frame. Let's go back here and look at 2014 right here. It's hard to see. It's under the money flow, but it's right there. You got a 2-week green dot. Okay, same thing. 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. You were working on the second pump here, but you had not come up to the 382 yet. You had not come up to the 382. You got the 2-week green dot. It pumped you up. I'm going to delete it now. You see the candle I'm talking about. You can see it wicked you up above the 382. See that? Wicked you above the 382 with the 2-week green dot. So it took 2 weeks to do it. The next candle, it was over with. Okay? Over. So 2 weeks, 4 weeks, over with. You're in the Babylon trade in 4 weeks. From the time you got the 2-week green dot, you had hit the pump, and it was over, and you were in your trade within 4 weeks. And I got the exact days here for you. 27 days and 19 days. From the time you got the green dot, you were in your short trade, your Babylon short trade. 27 days and 19 days. You can pull up the daily time frame. Go back, test me. I don't care. I'm on the Bitstamp chart. 27 days and 19 days, which means from the time you got these, from the time this candle closed, the 2-week green dot candle closed. So when you got the next 2-week period to open, we entered our short 13 days later and 7 days later, okay? So historically, as of today, assuming we get the green dot today at close, historically we have less than 1 month before the top will be in, and not only will the top be in, price will have fallen enough to give us the 5-day cross back over, and we'll be in our short trade. Less than 1 month, historically. It could take 6 months this time. I don't have a crystal ball, but historically, that's what we're looking for, guys. That is what's happened every single time. And again, the 2-week has nothing to do with our entry signal. Our entry signal is on the 2-day time frame. But the 2-week, that green dot has always meant you're less than 1 month before your trade. Okay, guys? It's getting close. I'm getting excited. My name is Anthony. What? MEXC. I'm Anthony. Okay, any questions on that 2-week dot thing, guys? I know it's kind of a lot. There's a lot of confluence, a lot of criteria here, but that's great. So when you have like 5, 6 areas of confluence and you're looking for all of them to hit, I mean, most trades we're lucky if we have 2 things. You know, we want a fib and a point of control, or a fib and a value area low. And it's like, oh great, we got 2 areas of confluence. Let's take the trade. And here we're looking for 5 or 6. So, and we're getting them. We've got half of them already. We've got 3 of them already. We should get the 2-week green dot today. That'll be 4. And then we're just missing 2. Just 2. The pump into the 382 and the 5 crossover with 55. That's it. The only entry signal, I want to stress this though, all those criteria, all that good stuff, you can front run this if you want to, okay? You can front run this. Let me show you. You can front run this if you want to. I will not. If we have, let's say, a 30% dump coming, I'm just making up a number. If we have a 30% dump coming, I'm totally cool with catching 27% of that. I don't need to front run it and get all 30. I would much rather have a more secure trade. You want to front run this based upon the 2-dot thing and the less than 1 month before entry thing, you want to front run in the loss of this 382 because that's what's always happened. By all means, front run it. But me and the crew, I will not take this trade until the 5 on the 2-day crosses below the 55. Yeah, I will miss this. All good. I will have what I believe is a almost unbeatable trade, okay? And I will miss this. I acknowledge. You get the cross there, top there. That's 10%. That's 10%. That is 10 freaking percent. That is a lot of percent. And I'm willing to miss that. Okay? Because from the time you got the cross, even if you just got out right here at this first little low, that's 60%. I'm okay with not making 70% on that. I don't think we get 60 or 70% on this dump. And I'm saying that. You're missing the point. I'm okay with that. Because we're putting so much on the line here, I would rather have a higher probability trade and give up a little bit of profit percentage. Or some of you may want to ladder in. Let's say you have $20,000 you're going to put up, and I'm just making up numbers. You may want to put 5 in there. And then the rest of it on the cross. Cool. Whatever you want to do. I'm not. I say that. That's not a bad idea, putting a little in. No, I'm not doing it. I'll show you why I'm not doing it. Back in 2018, okay? You had a double top here. Now, if you had timed this perfectly, well, let's say you shorted the loss of the 382, but here's what you're missing. You wouldn't enter this anyway. Well, you might would, but you don't have the key. So say you lost 382 here, so you entered your short, you came down. You got wiped out. You certainly took a loss unless you put stop loss to entry, but the trade just wasn't there yet, guys. Even if you entered right there at the loss of 382, you still came back, and 5%, and to most people, 5% is going to liquidate them. You're going to lose everything you got if you're not running the tight stop loss there. But once you got the cross, you can see once you got the cross right here, your entry is here. Right? Entry is here at the cross. You never even came close to it. I mean, you kind of came close to it here, but you still didn't hit it. I mean, this line is right there, is not there. So you still would have been fine. And this bottom right here actually hit the 55 monthly moving average before that. So you would have been out of your trade already anyway before that bounce because you got the bounce in the 55. So you would have caught this 40% drop before you even got that bounce and got a little bit of a scare, if you want to call it that. You'd already been out of your trade. You never even came close to it. Never even came close. But here, if you front ran it and you didn't have a stop, you got liquidated. So, do you. You do you. But I'm shorting the cross. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? Simu, yes, absolutely. You can call me Anthony. Sure. I would love that. It's a big trade, guys. I know I harp on it a lot, but I'm telling you, that's how excited I am about it. And I don't want anybody to miss this trade. So if anybody is still confused about this trade or doesn't understand what we're looking for, please message me. Matter of fact, get ready for the flashbang. Here comes a bright light. Screenshot this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, I did not put the 2-week green dot thing on here. The reason it's not on here is because it didn't happen 1 out of the 4 cycles. It didn't happen 1 of them. All the rest of these happened every single cycle. You guys got that screenshotted? This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, Thanos. Thanos and I talk privately a lot on DM and Discord. I do message you guys. If you guys have questions, message me in Discord. I respond. But we chatted up a fair amount, I would say. And we have a plan. Thanos is running this with me. Max is. John is. Several folks are doing it. Yeah, I'm holding these alts until, matter of fact, I will, okay, so I will not, I'll tell you, I don't think I told you this, Thanos. I'm holding my alts, and you know how we just talked about how I won't enter the trade, I won't enter the Babylon trade until we get this cross, right? Okay, that's when I'm entering the Babylon trade, but I'm not holding my alts until here, okay? I'm going to try with my best TA to time the selling of my alts here, okay? Because I don't want to take a 10% drawdown on alts, okay? Before I enter the Babylon trade. I'm not going to sell them and enter the Babylon here, but I am going to try to time the top-ish of the alts. So I will sell those. I'm not just going to sell them and 5 minutes later enter Babylon is what I'm saying. Okay, and I might mess it up. I might sell them here and it goes there. And that's fine. It just is what it is. But I'm going to try not to take that little 10% profit drawdown or 5%, whatever the percentage may be, before we get the cross. I'm going to try to sell those alts beforehand. And of course, I'll let you know in the VIP Discord when I do sell my alts. Biggest worry is New York shenanigans. I'm not worried about New York shenanigans at all. New York shenanigans are, I'm talking like, I get what you're saying, and I hear you. And New York is tricky. But you're talking like daily basis type stuff. I'm talking macro, like months. And New York can't, no. They just, New York can't, I guess maybe they could, but New York, I don't anticipate New York manipulating it on a massive macro scale like that. Once you've gotten this cross, guys, these lines become resistance. It is very hard. You're not just going to have a New York session that busts through these most likely. That is heavy sell pressure to the downside, and most likely heavy liquidations to the downside too. I'm not worried about with our day-to-day stuff. Yeah, I kind of get a little tense during the New York session because you never know what they're going to do. But on this macro stuff, I'm not worried about it at all. Not at all. So you're doing this trade as opposed to your WorldCoin run? Well, no. I'm doing the WorldCoin run right now. And when I feel like those have topped, I'm going to sell those. Because there's no sense in, unless you want to round trip your alts, 90% to the downside, there's no sense in holding on to them. So if you want to make money on the alts, you got to ride this little wave up, and then to continue the money you made on the alts, you're going to have to short it back down on Bitcoin, or you could short your altcoins. I just don't leverage trade altcoins. You would make more money, but I just don't fool with them that way. It's just too much for me, and I'm just not smart enough. I like to leverage trade Bitcoin and spot trade altcoins, and it's just a system that's worked well for me. I got burned a couple times. I was on a couple alts back in the day, and I used to leverage trade them. And, beautiful setups, and I don't remember the exact scenario, if it was a dump or pump. Or I entered my trade pretty heavily, and what you got to watch for, if your setup looks great on an altcoin, for the most part, if it looks great on an altcoin, and so you enter your trade, it looks like it's fixing a pump, and you got your percentages, and you got this, and you got your dots, and you got your divergences, and you enter, say, a long trade. If Bitcoin is about to dump, I don't care what your signals on your altcoins are, you're fixing to get wrecked. And so if you're going to leverage trade altcoins, you have to do significant technical analysis on Bitcoin, because your altcoin signals are only going to work if Bitcoin is in confluence, if Bitcoin is going in the same direction, whether it be up or down. And so rather than just doing that on two different charts, I just trade Bitcoin. It just works better for me. So, and I know there's plenty of people that do it and do it very successfully, and that's great. It's just not my thing. I'd rather spot trade alts, and you can see, we made over 20 grand on this WorldCoin trade, spot trading it. I'd rather do that, and to just stick to the leverage trading on Bitcoin. That's just what works for me. Simu, that sounds great. All right, have a great night. We'll see you. We'll be back tomorrow morning for the U.S. market open. Anyway, I think I've hammered home the Babylon, what we're looking for, guys. I'll be anxiously awaiting today's close to see if we get that 2-week green dot, which is part of the reason I'm kind of front running this this long. I'm in the long. I hate that I closed out my original long. I'm in the short also. I'm schlonging right now. You guys know that. Guys in the Discord know that anyway. I'm short from here. I was long from this dang green box, and I closed it up here. I wish I hadn't have, and now I'm right here. I mean, I'm literally at like a break even right now. $5 down. And I actually will consider adding to this position. I'm only at a 2-to-1 risk to reward, which is terrible. I understand. It's not my usual thing. I believe in what's about to happen. But if we come down to this box here, so I got my stop loss here. If we come down to this box here and get the bounce and come back up into this range, if we bounce from here, just kind of SFP this low right here, I will consider adding to my position right there to ride this up to our target here. So I do have a plan, even though it's not the greatest entry, which I had and closed out. I do have a plan here. And if I lose it, I'll lose it. We're up over 20 grand on the year. I only have $1,000 on this trade. That's it. $1,000 margin. You can see it. Right here, $1,042 margin. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got on it. So I'm not sweating it too much. Save the Republic says 100% with the altcoins. He stopped trading alts a while back because of that. Yeah. I'm telling you, I got wrecked. I know I got wrecked on 2 big trades, altcoin trading. My signals are great. Everything looked great. My TA was good. Everything was good. But I wasn't really watching Bitcoin. So in the bear market, I get a little, I want this bear market. I plan to trade Bitcoin, leverage trade Bitcoin the entire time. But my focus has shifted in the last couple of cycles to accumulation of altcoins, okay? Less dollars profit and more coin accumulation, right? So I spot trade I put a little bit of money in, whatever I'm going to put in, and I spot trade my altcoins. Let's say I buy, I'm going to make up numbers. Let's say I put 20 grand in, I buy 100,000 world coins, okay? Let's say I do that. Well, I don't want to put any more money in than that, so I try to accumulate during the off season, during the bear market, so that when it comes time for the bull run, that 100,000 world coin I bought for 20 grand, I now have 600,000 world coin. I'm just making up numbers. So I try to accumulate coins. That way when it rides up, I mean, if it goes to, let's say it's at $1 and it goes to $2, I sell 600,000 for 1.2 million for a $20,000 investment, or 120. You know what I'm saying? I 6x my money for the initial price without doing anything other than just spot trading. So that has been my focus. And along with doing that, I've gotten so good at it. I mean, I was racking up coins left and right. I said, I'm going to start leveraging these. That way I'm accumulating coins and I'm accumulating dollars on the leverage. And man, a couple of times just I wasn't watching Bitcoin. I just got cocky with my ability to spot trade them. That man, I was long on WorldCoin. I don't think I was on WorldCoin at the time. I actually think it was Algorand. I was long on Algorand, and Bitcoin said, and Algorand went right along with it. It was terrible. I was so mad. I said, I will never do this again. A couple months later, I did it again, got wrecked again, and said I would never do it again, and I haven't. It won't. It won't. You can make too much money leverage trading Bitcoin. You don't need to fool with that. For me, and you can make too much money spot trading alts if you have a good, large enough balance. Speaking of which, all right, so we good on Babylon. Any more questions? Should get the 2-week dot today. Anytime we've gotten that, it has been from the time we got the dot. From the time we got the dot, which would be today. In the past, it has been 27 days and 19 days before we enter. Not before it tops. It tops at 14, 12, and 8 days. Okay, from the time you got the dot, the top was 8 days, 12 days, 14 days. Okay, all less than 2 weeks from the time you got the dot. Okay, all within that 1-2 week candle. Okay, but from the time you got the dot to the time the 5 crossed back below the 55 and you entered the trade was 19 days and 27 days. So if that holds true and we get the dot today, we will be in this trade in less than 1 month. The short trade, the Babylon short trade. And we will be selling our alts in 8 days, 12 days, 14 days. So somewhere within, if that trend continues, somewhere within the next 2 weeks, we will be selling our alts, selling everything, and preparing for this next trade that would come within 2 weeks to follow. Caribbean's got wrecked on XRP a while way back. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there that has traded for any period of time that has not been wrecked on an altcoin. Yeah, I know you can get the stupid big gains on them. I know, but it's just not worth it for me. I used to flip back from the altcoin trade to Bitcoin and said to myself, why am I trading these alts and Bitcoin controls the movement? That is exactly right. And again, I'm not knocking folks who do that. There are some people I see who do it very well. And that's great. That they're smarter than I am. But you're right. Why? Why do TA? I get it. You get a 5% pump on Bitcoin, you're usually going to get a 10 or 12, 15% pump on the altcoin, so you make more. I get it. But if Bitcoin flips around and dumps 3%, your alt's going to turn around and dump 12% also. So you're going to get wrecked a lot faster. So it's just not worth it to me. It's just not worth it. Yep. Same. All right, guys. So I think I've kind of hammered home this Babylon thing. Let's take a look. I want to take a look at dominance. I do see some folks out there talking about dominance. And listen, I was on this bandwagon. I admit I was like on the dominance, gonna crash. We're gonna get an alt season, blah, 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 blah. I was on that train. I fully admit, okay? And I fully admit I have absolutely flipped from that, okay? Let's take a look here. Pull up the dominance chart. I'll show you what flipped me to thinking we are not going to get this little mini alt season. Now, I do think we're going to get a little pump here in the next couple weeks with this little Bitcoin dot. Okay, we've been in this. Here's what people are showing you, and I showed this too. I showed this very early on, so I'm guilty. So you got this channel, this rising channel we've been in for almost 4 years now. I mean, I got it marked out. You see it, just dominance, just nothing but steady increase, couple little dips, but nothing to write home about. And then everybody's showing this big volume gap, right? You got the big volume gap here. Once we hit this gap, I showed it too. I know, I'm acknowledging. Got this big volume gap, and once you hit this big volume gap right here, it's lights out, baby, right? Right? I get it. Here's the problem. First of all, we just discussed how alts follow Bitcoin for the most part, right? Okay. We just went over 6 criteria as to why it is almost game over Babylon for Bitcoin. Probably within the next 4 weeks. So unless Bitcoin dominance falls like this in the next 4 weeks, it ain't happening. It ain't happening for your altcoins. Because in 4 weeks, if what we think is going to happen on Bitcoin starts to happen, I don't care if this thing falls down. As long as Bitcoin is headed down, your alts are headed down. So none of this dominant stuff is going to matter, right? Dominance coming down only matters if Bitcoin is going up or going sideways. That's it. If Bitcoin's going down, you might as well not even look at dominance. It doesn't matter. Your alts are going down. So unless you get this big volume gap drop over the next 4 weeks, your alts are going nowhere. Might get a little pump. I acknowledge that. I'm holding my alts too, waiting on this next little 2-week pump. I do think we're going to get it, but I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote. And I pray and hope that I'm wrong. I don't really pray for it. I just hope that I'm wrong. I may have prayed for it, but I don't feel good about it. Let me show you why I think it held up so long. dominance, that is. So never before in the history of Bitcoin, I'm on the monthly time frame, have you gotten above this 55 monthly EMA? You did right here, but you instantly, I mean, next candle came back below it, okay? And then that was it, okay? I mean, you can see all the times pass, just below it, below it, below it, below it. Even on this big, massive bull run in 2017, you never got above it. You touched it, that was it. Wick above it, down, over. Never got above it. Well, very early on in this cycle, you got above it. And that's been it. You haven't gotten back below it. So what this lifelong resistance for this asset, lifelong resistance, has now been flipped to support. Lifelong, okay? That's heavy, heavy support and resistance. And that's coming in right here. Imagine this moving up, okay? Because it's trending up. It's coming in right here. It's coming in right here where your volume gap stops. I don't think you hit the volume gap. I think best case scenario over the next 4 weeks, you come like this, you might wick it, and then Bitcoin dominance starts heading back up. That doesn't mean Bitcoin price heads back up. That means Bitcoin price is probably going to be headed down with dominance heading up, which means your alts are going to dump harder and faster. I think this is what you're looking for, and I think this is the best you're going to get. Your only chance is the next 4 weeks, in my opinion. If you don't get this big dump in the next 4 weeks in dominance, you're not going to get it, in my opinion. And this is why. Your monthly 55 has now been flipped to support. And that's probably bad for alts from here on out. That doesn't mean in the next cycle, your alts, you can't get a 10x out of some alts, 20x. There's going to be some outliers that do 1,000x. I get it. I'm talking about for right now, with whatever little bit of time we have left in this cycle. So, I mean, I hate it. I hate it. I held alts for way too long, waiting on this volume gap. And we've inched ever so close to it. And it just looks like historically, and from what's going on right now with Bitcoin, it's almost over for Bitcoin, and we just never made it to the gap. Just never made it. And I just don't think there's enough time to make it. I just don't. Doesn't mean you can't hit it in the next cycle. Again, we'll worry about that in a couple years. We're talking about right now. If anybody has anything contrarian to what I'm saying about this, please put it in the chat right now. I'm very curious. We'll take a look at it right now while we're here on this chart, because I would love to find some extra altcoin hopium right now. I would love to. So if you've got some for me, please give it to me. The 4 hour looks like Bitcoin is coiling up to do something. We actually got, you're talking about on price action, I'm assuming, not on dominance. We actually got a 4 hour dot flash on in the last 4 hour period, but then it flashed back off. Let me hang on a second. Anybody have anything else to add to this dominance? I will gladly take some hopium if you've got it. Caribbean says, with this, I would short with the Babylon trade 1K on one of the main alts. Yeah. Hey, listen. If ever there were a time that I might, that's not a bad idea. If there were ever a time I would take an altcoin short, just try to get some stupid, crazy percentage drops, 80% or something, it would be on this Babylon trade. I am not putting my big money on that, because you just never know. You could be on an altcoin, you could be on WorldCoin, and Sam Altman, who's the creator of WorldCoin, can come out 2 weeks after we. Let me show you WorldCoin. I'll show you why I wouldn't put that much on it. Let's look at WorldCoin. I remember this when it happened. I missed this. I was so freaking mad. I've been on WorldCoin for I don't know, long time. Year and a half, 2 years. I'd started out with 40,000 WorldCoin. I'd traded it up to 150,000. I was just spot trading. September 8th or 9th, right here. We were just doing this. We've been doing this. Look, this was this whole time period right here was July to September. And man, when I tell you, I was racking up some WorldCoin, just spot trading, accumulation right here. I mean, I was just buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. And this sucker in 2 days does 150% pump. And I missed it. I had like $200,000 worth of WorldCoin, and I could have sold it for $500,000, and I missed it. In 2 freaking days, I missed a whole dang thing. Because on a Sunday, who comes out with major news announcements regarding their company on a Sunday? He came out and announced they had partnered with somebody, and they had, I don't know how many billions of dollars were just flooded in and blah, blah, blah on a Sunday. And that was right here, this big candle right here. So by the time, I think I was away from the chart this day. By the time I got back to the chart Monday morning, I was like, oh my gosh, it's done 100% in like 6 hours. So I missed it. So that's why I wouldn't put too much on an altcoin, because you never know. Bitcoin could be headed down, yes. But Sam Altman could come out and drop a tweet that they partner with someone, and they could do 150% pump and absolutely liquidate you. So I just don't trust the alts, but it is worth a shot on a low margin. I do give you that, and that's not a bad idea. And I'm gonna say right now, I'm going to do that. I'll do that. Why not? Great idea. Thanos, hopium deflated. Whatever you were hoping to make on alts, don't worry. We can make on Babylon. Yeah, Save the Republic is short ETH for sure. I wouldn't short ETH. If I'm going to, I think ETH is terrible. And well, I don't want to say it's terrible. I think it has had its day in the sun, and it will no longer be what people once thought it would be. So I do think it's going down. But if I'm going to short an altcoin, I also don't think your percentage loss on ETH is going to be as great as some. Is kind of what I'm saying. There's a lot of institutional money. There's a lot of and I'm not the big institutional person, you know. They can wreck you, but I just think that there's a lot of people not selling ETH. So you know, I think if you get a 90% dump on WorldCoin, I think you may only get like a 70% dump. I'm just making up numbers on ETH. So if I were going to short an altcoin, I would short one that I think you're going to get significant more drawdown on. That's just for me. But I'm with you. And I know you and I have talked. I know how you feel about ETH, so I'd probably short it just out of spite if I were you. Like, I'll show you ETH short. All right, so that's WorldCoin. That's Bitcoin dominance. Any question on dominance? I don't think anybody has anything to add to it as far as hopium. And again, guys, I know I'm coming across as a perma-bear in these last week or so with this Babylon stuff and the dominant stuff, but I'm really not. I'm much more of a hopeful bull. I'm just trying to be what I consider a realist right here with where we are. And I'll tell you why. Because so many of these things back in the day, I know I did catch Babylon last cycle. I made $56,000 on it. I could have done way more, but it was my first time taking the trade. I did catch it. But prior to, not even with Babylon, but other big trades like this, I sat around thinking there's no way, you know, this is going to happen first or that or whatever. You know, we're going up a little more and price will be coming down, or vice versa. Price will be coming down and be like, all right, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce, it's going to bounce. Shit, I missed the trade. And I'm just not going to be that way because I think we're going to 107K. I'm not going to be that way because that's not what the chart is saying historically. And again, historically doesn't mean it happens this time, but I'm not going to sit around waiting for that because I want that to happen when the chart is saying it is probably not going to happen. I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to nail this trade. And so is the VIP Discord. Join us in the VIP Discord. You can join the description below or AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. Come on over here. If you're thinking about loading, you can join us in the crew. Give all of my trade setups, give all that good stuff in advance. Put my charts out. Got the charts out. I'll show you my trades. I'll show you my profits, my losses. I do take some losses. That's not a loss. That was $300. I think we finished with like $750 on that trade. That was a few days ago. Anyway, come join us, guys. AnthonyLeeCrypto.com. If Bitcoin goes lower than 74, most alts will go to zero, so the probable is going up. So you think that Bitcoin is going up so that altcoins don't go to zero? Is that what you're saying? Tom Lee says ETH hits all-time high in the next 2 months. I would getting a 4-hour green dot here, guys, on Bitcoin. Tom Lee says ETH hits all-time in the next 2 months. I would place a side wager with Tom Lee. If Tom Lee would contact me, I would put $10,000 up to his 10 grand. We could get somebody to hold the USDT 10 grand versus 10 grand that it does not hit an all-time high in the next 2 months or the next 2 years. I'd put another 10 on next 2 years. At Click Drop Team, Bitcoin goes lower than 74, most alts go to zero, so the probable is going up. So you think Bitcoin is going up so that all coins don't go to zero. When has Bitcoin ever cared about altcoins? Bitcoin do what Bitcoin do. Bitcoin don't care about no altcoins. I think I hope you're right. I hope you're right because we have altcoins. I do hope you're right, brother. I really do, but I think you're very wrong. But I do hope you're right, and I will listen. I will admit that I'm wrong if I'm wrong, and I will celebrate it because I have some large altcoin bags, a couple of them. So I do hope you're right, and I do agree Bitcoin's going up to 99.5K. I think we're going to 103, 130 soon as what we think. I think we're going to 130, 130,000 Bitcoin. I do. In 4 years. I don't think you get above 100K right now. I don't think you get above 100K for the next 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. And if you do, it's a quick wick, like a 1-2 day wick. Maybe to 103, 101. Maybe 99.5K. That's what I'm calling for. And I listen, I'm not going to be mad, and I am not too prideful if it does go to 110, 120, 130K. Like, I'm great. Like, gobbledygook cartwheels if that happens. I'll be more than excited. I just don't think so, guys. Can't stress that enough. I'm not going to be. You're not going to be able to say ha 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 ha. Yeah, ha, you got it wrong. Like, great. I hope I get it wrong. You understand? I hope I get it wrong. I hope we go to 130K. But I'm not going to hold out for 130 and miss this Babylon trade because I'm holding out for something like that. But I do hope I'm wrong. Let's take a look at that 4 hour. I just got a notification. We got a 4 hour dot. Let me refresh this. See what's happening. We got this 4 hour dot a couple hours ago. It flicked off though. I actually was in this trade. We got it right here. I was in a long. We got it right here. And then when you wicked and came back down, the 4 hour flicked off. But it looks like we just got it right here. The problem with this is, as of now, volatility is headed down. And we talked about this yesterday in the crew. Nothing matters when you get these dots, guys. Please don't be so heavily reliant upon dots. Nothing matters for your time frame. If you're looking at a 4 hour time frame and volatility is down here, or even like headed down, significantly down. Now, if it's headed down and you're up here, you're still at pretty freaking high volatility. Even though it's slightly headed down, you're still elevated volatility. Does that make sense? But if you're down here and headed down and you get a dot or below the line, and that dot is a coin flip at best. Okay. Now, what I like about this is we are in full contraction on the 4-hour time frame volatility, which means we are below this orange line, this 15% line. You're in contraction. Okay. What you want is expansion. When this eventually, and it will, comes back above this orange line, that is expansion. When this cross occurs, check the direction of stochastic and trade it, or I will be trading the direction of stochastic when that expansion occurs. I prefer confirmed. Sometimes we front run, but I prefer confirmed. The problem with waiting on confirmed, and I get it, you wait on confirmation, you get a higher probability trade. The problem, like let's say this expanded right here, the problem could be by the time that 4-hour candle closes and you get confirmation, price could be way up here. I get it. So that is on you to decide if you're going to trade the unconfirmed expansion or you're going to wait on the confirmed expansion. I get it. What I usually do, if we get an unconfirmed expansion here on the 4-hour, for example, doesn't matter the time frame, I usually do this, but we're talking about the 4-hour. I'll drop down to like the 90-minute and see if it's confirmed there. If it's confirmed there, I will usually front run the pending signal on the 4-hour. If it's not confirmed on the 90 minutes, or even look like the 90 minutes about to flip over, if it looked like the 90 minutes already played out and about to flip back down, I will not. But if the 90 minutes confirmed and it's still trending in the direction that the 4-hour has just signaled, I will usually front run with good risk management. So let's look at that now. Well, there's nothing to look at because we don't have expansion here, so there's nothing to look at. The catalyst will be a major event. Yeah, I hope you're right. That's not what the chart says, but I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. But that is not what the charts say. You know, what part do you not get? Is it listen, I was talking yesterday with Catherine about this. Is it Caribbeans or she was like, maybe it's Caribbeans. Is it Caribbeans? Like the Caribbean Sea? Caribbeans? 2-hour Bjorn green dot put in an hour ago. Let's take a look at that. Oh, Thanos. Yeah, we got 2-hour Bjorn. I like it. I like it. What I don't like, I like the potential of this, okay? You're kind of the same deal as the 4-hour here. Obviously, we don't have the 4-hour Bjorn dot yet, but you're in full volatility contraction. However, you are headed up. The power behind this move, you will see it. You can set an alert. You guys know how to do this? First of all, if you just have the Bjorn indicator, which you can only get in the VIP Discord, you should go down. The first thing you should do when you get this on your chart is get one of these horizontal lines, boom, just like that, and then set it at 15%. You can drag it down, or you can just go into the settings here and coordinates and put it in at 15%, okay? Get it there and then lock it so you can't accidentally move it. And then save your chart so that it is always there from now on. That's the first thing you should do. Then, depending on what you're looking at, like right now, if I look at this, okay, and I say, okay, we're in contraction, but it's angled up, and I know the powerful move, whether up and down, doesn't matter, comes when you get expansion, when you come above that 15, okay, that's going to be the powerful move. The direction of the move will be shown by stochastic at the time of expansion, preferably confirmed, but we just discussed that, okay? At the time of expansion, see it just kind of turtled back sideways right there. Once just headed up. That's why you don't front run. But then you can go over here if it's looking like it's getting close to that. Set an alert, just like you would anything else. Set an alert. Go over there and set an alert. Boom, add an alert at the 15% line. And then you'll get notified when that expands above 15. You can go take a look which way stochastic headed. Is it confirmed, unconfirmed? Then you can decide if you want to take the trade based upon confirmation or not confirmed. But you can at least look at the direction of expansion, stochastic upon expansion. Does that make sense? So you definitely need that line. You can make it whatever color you want. I got mine fire orange. I think that's literally what it's called, fire orange. I wouldn't have looked it up. I found the color code and put it in, so I didn't just have a regular orange. I wanted something that really popped out at me. Fire orange to me is like aggression. It's like, go get it. So that lets me know when you cross that line, it is time to burn it down. Carry Benz, Mercedes Benz. Yeah. Say the Republic, I'm just seeing your comment. But that's what I just discussed. I added that 15% line. I just regular line. Look, let me delete it. Here's what I'll show you exactly what it did. I went in here, hit my little horizontal line, came down, put on the chart. Doesn't really matter where you put it. And you go into the settings and you type in coordinates 15%. Boom. Now it drops to the 15%. And then the first thing you want to do, you can change the color, whatever you want to do, is save that sucker so it's always there from now on. Save your chart layout. So this is always there. You have to do that every time. I happen to use fire orange. I got it saved right there. Boom. See if I can show you guys the color code if y'all like it. You may not like it, and that's cool. There's the color code. I don't know if you can see that. I'll type it in chat for you guys in case you want it. FD6A02. That's the color code for fire orange. And you make it as thick as you want. You can do whatever you want to do. I have mine thicker. Just so it stands out a little more. It doesn't just blend in. I put mine on 2, but you can do whatever you want. And then I just set an alert on it. And I've gone through and preset alerts. I've set alerts on like higher time frames, like daily, that I'll show you. I got the alert here that that is not just once. And most time when you set an alert, it's once. It says once. I've got my once per bar, which means every time on the daily this thing crosses, I get an alert, because that is a powerful move, a big move, a high profit move. I want to know every freaking time it crosses. Now, you'll get alerted when it crosses to the downside too, but it is what it is. And I will go ahead and change the message. Bjorn crossing 15%, just so it pops up on my phone. I know what it is. I know if it's worth going to take a look at or not, because I get a lot of alerts. Let's look at those high time frame Bjorns. Let's look at the 2-day. Stochastic sideways, volatility sideways. Nothing to see. Indecision. 3-day stochastic's headed down, but volatility is headed down, so really nothing to see. Stochastic is less, direction of stochastic is less meaningful, and volatility is headed down. Let's look at the 5-day. Okay, so you got indecision on some of the, well, first of all, yeah, we'll call them higher time frames. Daily, 2-day, 3-day, kind of indecisions, right? Volatility sideways or down. Stochastic kind of sideways, downish, kind of indecision, more sideways. But when you get higher, 5-day, you got volatility still headed up, okay? Which means the bigger picture is still up a little bit more. Stochastic headed up. Now, it's not aggressively headed up, okay? It's not aggressively headed up. You can see it's kind of sideways and up, but it is up. Let's look at the weekly. Same thing. Oh, now this could equal a big move here. A weekly volatility expansion. If you get this weekly, and we'll get a weekly close today, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with volatility here. If I had to guess, it's going to go sideways. Unless you get a big move between now and then, it's going to go something like this. But when you do get this weekly expansion, now currently stochastic's headed up, but it doesn't mean it's going to be headed up by the time you get expansion. You could easily get this. Well, this kind of does something like this, and by the time you get expansion, stochastic's headed down, and that's the start of your big Babylon trade. Could easily get that. But this will be a big trade. When you expand it, let's look at the last time we got expansion here, just so I can show you guys who have never seen this. Okay, the last time, I'm on the weekly now. Last time you got expansion was right here. on the weekly. You got weekly expansion, so you're down below the 15. You expand up on volatility, okay? And what happens at the time you expand it up? Right there. Stochastic was headed up, and here is your move. Right there. What percentage was this? You got it right there at the start of this candle. 12.5% move to the upside. It's a big move. I know it's not 60%, but 12.5 is a big freaking move. That was from 112 to 126, so $14,000 Bitcoin move in 1 week. That's weekly volatility expansion for you, okay? Let's see. All right, here's an example. You got it to the downside, okay? Expansion. Okay, and you didn't get a dot to go with this. You got a dot back here, red dot back here. Don't pay attention to the dots. Turn your dots off. So you got weekly expansion right here. You see it? All right. At the time of expansion, stochastic was headed down. Stochastic headed down. What do we get? Got expansion right there on this big purple candle. In that 1 week, you got over 15%. You wound up getting a total of 21%. But in the 1 week, first week upon volatility expansion on the weekly, you got a 15% dump to the downside. 94,000 to 79,000. $15,000 move. Big move. And it's trying to give you expansion again. This is worth paying attention to. Let's look at the 10-day. Same thing. You'll get this weekly and 10-day right there next to each other. When you get them, guys, you're going to have a big, big, big move. And I can already tell you, it's probably going to be to the downside. It's probably going to be to the downside. It's probably going to be our Babylon trade. I think you're going to get some expansion, some volatility expanding up on the daily, 12-hour, things like that to the upside. That's going to be our pump up into 99, 100K, so somewhere right in that area, our target. That's going to be that. But I just don't, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be enough to flip these weekly and 10-day time frames. I don't think it's going to be enough. So about the time that stuff's starting to roll over, I think these are going to be expanding with stochastic downside. I just do. I've been doing this a long time. This is how I built my retirement, was this indicator. It wasn't an indicator at the time, but it was this signal. And that's just what it looks like to me as I look at my crystal ball here. Let's look at the 2 week. 2 weeks stochastic headed up, but volatility headed down, so kind of a big old nothing here. You did get expansion here. You can see on the 2 week, you did get the expansion. This was your go signal, guys. This was your go signal. You got expansion right here. Okay, upon expansion, you see, you got expand. It's hard to tell here. It looks like you got it way back here, but you didn't. You actually crossed the line right here, so you wouldn't have gotten it until this candle right here. This candle right here, you got it at the bottom of this candle. So as soon as this candle closed, you got it. So this would have been your expansion trade right here. You would have opened the candle there. 12%. 12%. Actually, that's not even correct. You got it. You got expansion. I'm sorry. This is a good thing. You need to watch this on all time frames. So if you get expansion here, like you got it here, right? And stochastic was headed to the downside, okay? So, yeah, you entered the short, and you got it. It nailed it. I'm sorry. I looked at this wrong. You nailed it. Upon time you got the short right there, 23%. Volatility expansion gave you 23% to the downside. Stochastic headed down, expanding up above 15, 23% move to the downside. But, here's what you can do. Here's how you know to get out of your trade, first of all, and how you know you can actually flip long using this same time frame, same indicator, while volatility was still headed up. Okay, so stochastic was headed down, volatility headed up, volatility continued to head up. I just don't like this brush. It's getting choppy. Let me put a line on here, or arrow. Boom. Stochastic headed down, right? Following me? Volatility headed up, right? So it tells us to enter the short trade. We enter the short trade, 23% down. While volatility was still headed up, stochastic flipped on you to the upside. So that would have told you, hey, volatility is still headed up, so there's still an aggressive, powerful move, but it is no longer to the downside. Exit that trade, flip long, and you would have got you another 12% long. 23% to the downside, 12% long to the upside, just by watching this scenario right here. Stochastic and volatility. That's it. Nothing else. No 15-minute stuff, no 4-hour stuff, just right here. And I understand it's a 2-week time frame. This took a couple months to play out. But I'm just saying, you should pay attention to these high time frames on Bjorn. So freaking powerful. And believe me, we will be watching Bjorn when we enter this Babylon trade on the high time frames. Save the Republic out of the line. Good deal. Let's take a look at our trade. We're in the trade. I've already got my take profit set in here. We're up 20 bucks. Y'all think I'm kidding? Look at this. I already got my take profit preset right up here. Right at our target. I will consider. I will lose $1,000 before I take anything less than that. I wouldn't be this way if I wasn't up over 20 grand on the year, though. I'd be a little more strict. But that's it. It's already set. I got it set at 99,185. My target is about 99.4, 99.3. I got it set at 99,381. So right about 99.4. So I'm kind of front running that a little bit. 99,185. It's already set. I just wish I hadn't closed my long trade from down here. 94.2. Oh well. Put some money in the bank, right? Questions, guys? We got some big trades. We got a couple big weeks coming up. And listen, this thing could take forever. Just historically, we're looking at a really big next 4 weeks, and it all starts at the daily close today. If we get that 2-week green dot, I'm telling you guys, the countdown is on. If we get that 2-week green dot, and it looks like we're going to. Any questions before we go, guys? Be happy to answer anything you got. Let's look at our poll. I forgot we had the poll. My bad. Guys, I'm trading on KCEX Trading, KCEXTrading.com. Go there. Affiliate link below in the description or right above. You see it in the little banner, KCEXTrading.com. Get you a KCEX account. Lowest fees in the game, guys. Best user-friendly interface. When will Bitcoin top out before the crash? 50% say in a couple weeks. A month or more says 25%, and this week says 17%, and 8% said Bitcoin will never crash again. So most of you think a couple weeks. I agree. I think 2 weeks. Let's go over one more time. From the time we got the 2-week green dot, the top of that pump at this point in the cycle was 14 days, 12 days, and 8 days from the time we got the dot. 14 days, 12 days, and 8 days was the top. After that top, the Babylon short trade was entered after the top 13 days and 7 days. So, if history holds true, we'll be at a top in less than 2 weeks, and we'll be in this trade in less than 4. Probably 3 to 4 weeks. We shall see. I'm excited for it, though. I'm holding my alts. Just to be clear, I'm holding my alts until then. I will let you know in VIP Discord when I sell those. And you don't have to do what I do. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I do make a lot more money than I lose. Significant amount more. So if I don't time the exact top, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to get it pretty dang close, I think. Okay, guys, I'll be in Discord. If you guys need me, I'll be in the VIP Discord. I don't know how much trading I will get in today. I got some things I got to handle. I did a few trades this morning. Really nothing. I mean, like, literally nothing. I mean, I'm probably up like $100. So, really nothing. Trying to pull it up over here. It's not loading. I'm getting a little... My screen is kind of grayed out. Anyway, it's lagging up on me. I'm up about $100 on the day. Nothing much. I haven't done much today. I got some things to handle, but I will be in Discord. So if you need me, holler at me. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow live for the USR Open. I'll be ready and looking for trades live. We're looking for this 2-week green dot today, but we'll definitely be looking to have some big trading weeks. Just because I'm in this long that I'm looking for doesn't mean we can't do some good scalperonies and some good medium term, you know, smaller day trades. So I do have the boxes. I will still take those trades. This is not the only trade I'm going to take.